I mean, you're alive, you're human.
Yeah.
Like you, the fact that you're even here is
Yeah.
so incredible.
Yeah. What about gratitude though? Because I'm gonna throw in gratitude because I think gratitude helps with a lot of things. So self-love is huge. So do you want to hear my lobster story that has to do
Yeah.
with gratitude? Okay, I call it my lobster story. All right. It's a little bit humorous. So if somebody's having a bad day, I try to help them readjust their perspective. I said, maybe it sounds like you're having a frustrating day, and I can appreciate it, what that's like to feel frustrated. No doubt you got some frustrating things happening, but maybe this a good problem or a bad problem? Because sometimes frustrating things fall in the category of a good problem. Like, maybe I got to replace the tire on my car. Inconvenient, feels frustrating. But that's a good problem. I have a car and I have the privilege of driving that helps me get around, right? So maybe it's a good problem. It's not all end of the world, right? So I tell them, I said, have you ever noticed when you go to the grocery store where I live at, we have HEB grocery. That's like the big thing down here. So they have a seafood section. And in the seafood section, sure, they got live catch, fresh fish, and they got all the selections, lobster, crawdaddies. And then they have a big aquarium. And guess what's in it? It's a bunch of big freaking lobsters in there. They got their claws all bound with the band so they can't pinch each other. So these lobsters are just in there doing the lobster thing, looking around, just waiting for somebody to pick them out and buy them and take them home alive for guess what? Just so they can be thrown in a boiling pot of water alive. And that's their fate. Yeah, that's their fate. Freaking get boiled in water. They're poor lobster, right? So I tell my friends, when you're having a bad day, just consider this. You could have been born a lobster, but you weren't. Right? You weren't born a lobster. You're born you. And yes, it's frustrating. I appreciate it, but at least you weren't born a freaking lobster, right? Being thrown in boiling water and being somebody's dinner, right? So that's a bit of an existential kind of a play on things, our existence here and the balance of everything. But sometimes just having a bit of perspective, gratitude is back to circle back. Gratitude. Always find some gratitude. Don't disqualify the positives. That's part of being able to love self, because gratitude is an antidote for self-pity. Self-pity happens, but self-pity, we need to be careful because it can be an extreme form of self-centeredness when we get too caught up in self-pity. So gratitude is an antidote to help fix that. So all of these things feed into arriving at love for self, because love for self doesn't happen in a vacuum, as I'm sure you understand that.